Welcome to AR on presented by BetMGM. That is the emergency show siren because it's an emergency show. USF has just walked off Florida at the Swamp. Ari, I will be the first to apologize to all of the people for hyping up Florida all offseason and hyping up generational quarterback, hyping up special season, hyping up everything's changed, hyping up it's all different. It's not. They just lost to USF, and they did it in the ways that they lost so many games in the Billy Napier era. Just dumb mistake after dumb. They had a guy get penalized for spitting on a dude in the final drive. Like, that's dumber than throwing a shoe.
Especially because the spitting on thing happened for the entire world to see a few nights ago.
Yes, you'd think every coach had a meeting with their players after Jalen Carter got ejected from the Eagles-Cowboys game. Like, hey, maybe don't spit on people. Not a great idea.
I hope that your apology when we started the emergency show was for the both of us, because I'm just as culpable.
Oh, we're both guilty. Very guilty.
I think that there's a chance that USF is really good this year. Not that that's
possible.
An excuse.
They play Miami next week.
We're going to find out in a big way next week, I think. But, we actually, in the offseason, I think, actually outlined the nightmare fuel for Florida, and that was losing this game. And I don't think we were being serious about it, but I was like,
no.
So here, Andy, you live in Gainesville. You know a lot of people around the program. I am a prisoner of the moment. I
didn't go to the game in person because I did not think there was a chance this could happen.
But what is the temperature now? Are we in full he's cooked mode?
5 billion degrees. Because look at call up the schedule again, producer River. So we were saying for Billy Napier to have a chance, he needed to go 2-2 over the stretch of at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, at Texas A&M. We were not banking on a loss to USF. So now to have a chance, because again, 8-4 is okay, and maybe does it for you. But another 7-5 season, that's not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go 3-1 in that stretch now when you can't beat USF at home?
Yeah. There's just a expectation. And I know in the offseason when we talk about Florida and we talk about coaches that are facing pressure, the only way to really contextualize it is to try to go through record. But I think that Billy Napier had to live up to an idea. And that idea was that this is an elite level football team that belongs on the same field no matter who they're playing. And I don't know if that's a way to quantify 8-4 or something different. But when you lose this game, it's not just, oh, no, this is a bad loss in your record. It's a statement that you are not what you're supposed to be, right? And I don't know. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois last year. We all freaked out. Notre Dame made the championship.
Notre Dame's schedule was a little bit easier.
But also, I just don't know that I view this game. Notre Dame got clipped sleepwalking, I think. Florida is playing an in-state school with
Florida made a lot of the same mistakes. Now, at least they had 11 guys out there on the field goal block team. So they got that going for them. But Florida made a lot of the same mistakes they made in early season games in every year of the Billy Napier tenure. So this is year 4, and the same stuff keeps happening. The same stuff. Yeah. It's the same shit in a different bag.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. The clock management, you get the ball back with 2:42 to go. You got to run the clock out. You're up 1.
Yeah.
Now, I know that DJ Lagway had a choice to check to a throw if he saw a loaded box in that situation. Don't give him the choice. Call a play that does not give him a choice. Call a play that requires you to run, because you got Jaden Baugh, who had been somewhat successful today. And again, you had to throw on third down, and DJ Lagway did put it on Vernell Brown III. He just dropped it. Now, you can criticize the freshman for dropping the ball, but the freshman's the only reason you're even in the game, because he had the punt return earlier. So you go back to the first half. You had 2 plays in a row touchdown called back. I believe it was a hold on the first one, called back again because of offensive pass interference. It was like a pick play 30 yards ahead of where the guy caught the ball. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting because I think that nitpicking and, trying to pick apart the fabric of a loss like this is interesting. It's like, how many mistakes did they make that stopped them from winning? You're a 20-point favorite. You're supposed to be 15 or 20 mistakes away from losing. Like, It's just like, I don't know. I feel like you played the game that you just played when you're playing South Carolina. Like that's not that. Like, it didn't even look like they were physically superior to their opponent for all 4 quarters to me. Like
it didn't.
Oh, it felt
USF in the trenches held up very well against Florida, and look, we will see next week, because all of this, we could be speculating. We'd be saying, well, maybe USF's really good. Maybe Florida's not that bad. Okay, Florida plays at LSU next week. USF plays Miami. We'll know. Like, we will know in both directions.
Yeah. And that's the fun of the season, right? The context clues that you pick up along the way. USF beat the crap out of Boise, and then Boise beat the crap out of, who'd they beat the crap out of last night? I can't even remember. I was watching it too.
Hey, Ari, since the Alabama fans got mad at us for talking about Kalen DeBoer's buyout when it was after game 1 of year 2, let's have a Billy Napier buyout conversation, because I'm sure there's some people in the audience would like to know what it is.
Sure.
Everybody, about $19.5 million. It would be about $19.5 million. You owe 50% within 30 days of the firing. So you need $10 million cash right away. They had $13 million ready, because that was half of $26 million, which is what it was last year. They had $13 million ready after the Texas A&M game. They end up not firing Billy Napier. And the thing is, and this is why Ari and I and many, many other people thought this was going to be different. After all that, after they got through all that, Lagway becomes a starter. Graham Mertz gets hurt against Tennessee. Lagway becomes the full-time starter. They did look different. They looked different against LSU and Ole Miss. And the thought was, it will be that Florida that comes out for the 2025 season.
Why?
Instead, it's the same.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Like, it's the same Florida that came out and lost to Utah at the beginning of year 2, and they got trashed by Miami in the season opener at the beginning of year 1. They're lucky to play Long Island in the season opener, because if they played somebody good, they'd be doing this a week earlier.
Last year, it was so easy when you and I went to the opener against Miami. It was so easy to analyze that game, because it was like, okay, Miami's got a lot of explosive, awesome playmakers. Their lines are good because Cristobal did it. Like, Florida isn't physically equipped. Florida's physically equipped this year. Like, that's the thing that's so frustrating if you're a Florida fan, probably, right? Like, that you're playing in a situation too where Florida's entire offseason was predicated on proving to the entire world that they're a bona fide, like, contender of the SEC. Like, this is the type of game that you have in week 8 after you've already had some hype on you, or the type of game that you have when, you already think that you're good, or the world thinks it. Like, this is the type of game that, like, Clemson's having right now with Troy. Like, this isn't the type of situation that, Florida was in. And you're at home, you're playing against a team that you're favored by 18 points against, but you're also favored against a team that clearly has an awesome quarterback. The entire country watched him cook last Thursday. Mm-hmm. It's an in-state rival that's not so Southern, despite their name. I do not understand how it could have been this bad. Like, it didn't have to be great, but how did it get to this point?
Well, and that's the problem is it's Groundhog Day again.
Yeah.
And you just have to do something about that. And look, if Napier comes out of this and wins all these next few games and winds up 9-3, then okay, he's fine. But what has he shown you that suggests he can get through that gauntlet?
I specifically asked you in the offseason, because we were having a debate, and I remember this like it happened yesterday, about coaches that faced the most pressure or coaches whose seat was the hottest, and we were comparing Venables to Napier. And I made the comment that Napier's seat has to be hotter because we already thought he was going to get fired in the middle of a year. And I said, it's possible that Billy Napier on a bad start could get canned in the middle of the year. And then you pushed back on it a little bit. And I think that you were right because they turned it around last year. But then I asked you on the show, do you remember this? I said, well, what if they lose to USF?
I don't remember this, but
and like,
what did I say?
Laughing. I don't think I was being serious. I'm not trying to act like I projected this to happen. I clearly didn't. But like, this is worse than losing games to really good SEC teams to start your really tough schedule. This is like, we are not it. And it's like, even turning it around, like any hope or of idea of like grandeur of making the postseason, you know, that you spent all offseason dreaming, well, if Florida goes 9-3 against this schedule, blah, 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 they might be able to be in it. It's like, this team isn't even close to that. It looked awful. And like, I know we can talk about the mistakes. It looked like quicksand. What has to go wrong in coaching where a team that's athletically superior to the other looks slower than the other team? Like, how does that happen?
Can I throw something out there? It's interesting because so when they decided to bring Billy Napier back last year, and this was the week of the Texas game. So they lose to Georgia, but play tough after Lagway gets hurt. But they lose. They announced that Thursday going into the Texas game that they're going to keep Billy Napier. Now, when they did that, there were some guarantees made to the people who made the decisions that he'd hire an offensive coordinator who actually called plays. And there was a possibility that he might change defensive coordinators too. Neither of those things happened. Why? Because he beat LSU and he beat Ole Miss. They finished on a win streak. He got some juice and he didn't have to. And he said, I'm going to go. And I get this. If I'm Billy Napier, I might do the same thing. Like if I know my job's still on the line and I might get fired if I mess up next year, I would probably go the same way that I think I'm the best as well. Because he thinks he's the best play caller for this offense. And to be honest, you weren't going to get a whole wide range of great play callers who wanted to take the job.
Because
he's on
the
hot seat.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go join a staff where the head coach is on the blazing hot seat.
But if you're wondering why it looked the same, well, this is why. And this was the risk that he took. And we said this in the offseason. I said he is taking a gamble here, but I understood why. He just may have rolled craps. Did I say that right? I don't play craps. Snake eyes. He rolled snake eyes.
He might have crapped out. Is how
he crapped out. That's it. Well, it looked crappy.
He rolled the dice and he hit a 7 right out of the gate.
Yeah. It was just the lack of discipline. Like the spitting incident on the last drive is emblematic of the entire tenure.
Sounds like a story lead.
Yeah. One year it's you can't get the right number of people on the field goal block team. Next year it's the same thing. Play calling against Tennessee last year, like it all adds up, and it's all part of the same. They're all symptoms of the same disease.
Mm-hmm. We knew something was going to happen today. We didn't know what it was, but something did happen here. And man, we look stupid. I look stupid. John Lee in the chat, I don't know how to feel anymore, buddy. It's been a day. It's been an interesting day. Andy, what's your message to Florida fans on how to feel again?
You might want to go numb for a bit.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If they go to Baton Rouge and win, they're going to be right back up there. But you and I saw LSU in person last week. I realized Clemson's not looked very good against Troy. Nothing Florida did today gives me any confidence they can beat LSU on the road.
Yeah, LSU is beating Louisiana Tech 7-0 at the end of the first, as we speak, but they're not on either.
We'll give a few more quarters to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be okay. But
the thing is, you go to LSU. After that, you go to Miami. I mean, the schedule feels like it's going to do it for you. And I think the Florida people are over hey, everybody will leave if he gets fired. Like, yeah, everybody will.
Well, but yeah, also
that's how it works.
Saw a few Florida fans in our chat right now kind of like forget DJ Lagway too, and not the right F word.
See, I wouldn't bail on DJ Lagway just yet. I'm not ready to give up on him completely. He still throws a beautiful ball.
How do you think he performed in the game?
Not good. It was the long interception, especially was a very bad throw. That was that was a killer. Now he had some moments where he threw it perfectly and it was dropped. There was one that should have been a touchdown pass. I think it was the tight end. He was so surprised that it was such a perfect throw. It like came down straight down and just hit him in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the drop there. Because if Brown squeezes that ball down the left sideline, they probably run the clock out, win the game.
Run the clock out and win, yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I will point out, because we didn't cover this on the show because there's so much stuff happening this week. Scott Strickland, the athletic director, got his contract renewed this week. He's renewed till 2030. Florida has an interim president. If you haven't followed, and I don't expect any of you to follow university politics, but Florida had a president resign in July of 2024, Ben Sass. They brought in Kent Fox, who had been the previous president. He was the interim for a while. They chose Santa Ono, who had been the president of Michigan, to be the permanent president. And then there's a secondary board that has to approve the hire that didn't approve it in order to stab Florida's board chair in the back. And so now they have an interim president again. They're looking for a permanent president. This is not the kind of person who's going to go firing athletic directors and wanting to fire coaches.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that show House of Cards, but University of Florida edition a little bit.
Well, it's lots of Florida men involved. Actually, not really Florida people from out of state doing crazy things.
Yeah. So, are we forgetting anything? Are we forgetting anything about this game, or should we let Florida
Hank in the chat? I figured a Florida fan would bring former Florida athletic director Jeremy Foley's most famous quote to light today. What should be done eventually should be done immediately. So, but I don't think it'll be done immediately. I don't think it's going to be done tomorrow. I think it's going to be a little while.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a chance to coach against these really good teams. I mean, look, here's the thing. You go on a 3-game win streak against LSU, Miami, and Texas, all is forgiven. But
if it gets
the
bad,
odds of that are pretty slim.
What are your thoughts if things go bad in the next few weeks, like his proposition of finishing the season?
The open date is the week before the Georgia game.
Got it.
It's late October. If you're, in case you're wondering,
if the wheels fall off, yeah. It's fun to say, well, what if everything gets back to normal again? But it's like, what's more likely?
What's normal after this?
The odds of repeating what they did a year ago again are probably unlikely.
Right, and it's probably not enough. Even if they do that, 7-5 at this point is just not good enough. Like, this guy's never had a good season.
Yeah.
Like, you've had 4 years and you've never had a good season.
Brent Venables is on the hot seat, and he won 10 games in year 2, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
So that's where they're at. We do need to give props again to USF, though. Alex Golish, Byron Brown, incredible job by the Bulls. They came up. We're not intimidated whatsoever. Huge win. So they've beaten Boise State and they've beaten Florida. Now they go play Miami. Ari, they're already in position, I think. I don't think they have to beat Miami. If they win the American now, they'll make the playoff.
I think that's right. If you get one...
Because that means you've beaten Tulane, which I think would be the other one that is the big contender in the American for that spot.
Also, Memphis is going to be very good this year, too. So that would be another...
And Navy. So they have Memphis and Navy on the road. So, the idea of USF going undefeated in the conference, don't get crazy because they have a hard conference schedule. Who did you have
as your G5 representative in your bracketology last week? I can't remember.
Tulane.
Do you switch it?
I'll probably put USF in there this year. Tulane, well, as when we started this, Tulane was down to South Alabama.
Yeah.
So they play Duke next week. I don't know what that's going to be, but this is going to be a fascinating next few weeks. But USF is in a great position. They don't have to beat Miami to make the playoff. If they beat Miami, then if they win the the American, they're obviously in the playoff. Like there's no doubt about it. So if they beat Miami, though, then we're talking about, they're not supposed to be the 12th seed. They're supposed to be a much higher seed.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that we've learned about college football, Andy, as we are done burying the, head coach of Florida, is that in college football, what was true last week isn't always what's true next week. Nope. And you go into games thinking, well, they got their doors blown off last week, so how are they going to compete? Like, it's within the realm of possibility that Florida goes on the road, is fired up, and is in a one-possession game with LSU in the fourth quarter. So we'll keep monitoring that. But if you're in Gainesville, and Andy, I know that you are, you're probably having a rough night if you're a Gator fan, and rightfully so, especially because it's not just like we have to show a pulse. You got done convincing, and when I say you, I mean me, convincing people that Florida had a shot to be really good, and you look really, really, really dumb right now. So I'm hoping
I do look really, really dumb right now.
Yeah, I think
you're right.
I mean, the Florida hype was a show-wide disease. Like we shared.
Yeah, it was all of us. We weren't the only show, but I will say there were shows that pushed back on it and did not buy it. And so good for you guys. I got killed last year by the folks at my alma mater because they said I was too negative, that I was overly negative last offseason. And I felt pretty bad about it, actually, after they lost, or after they beat LSU and Ole Miss. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the ingredients of success were there. Like, that's the problem with me. It's like, okay, well, you're an idiot for buying into Florida. It's like, well, why did I buy into Florida? Because all their best players from this last year's turnaround were coming back. DJ Lagway, I ranked as my number one quarterback in college football. Like, all the elements of the return of Florida were there. Like, we can't tell the future, and I'm not trying to skirt responsibility. We were clearly wrong. But, like, it's just, to me, it's just bizarre. That's all. I always get very...
But that's the thing is, and this is where I think the people who've been telling us in the chat all offseason that we're wrong, this is where they're right. It's not bizarre. When somebody keeps telling you repeatedly who they are, believe them. And we chose not to.
Yeah.
Zach in the chat goes, you can never be too negative. If you're wrong, you're pleasantly surprised.
Listen, I don't know how do you use a wet razor when you shave?
Yes.
I use clippers.
Mm-hmm.
And I went too short, if you can tell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, I've got a podcast tonight. I'm going to look like a round-faced loser. I can't believe I can't even figure out a way to shave my head or shave my face correctly. I'm almost a 40-year-old man.
You could use a man's razor.
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't like to go clean shaven. I have a.
It's strategic stubble. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, strategic stubble.
Gotcha.
And whenever you have a shaving mishap, you're going to have a rough day. My day's not nearly as rough as Billy Napier. So good luck, Billy, and good luck to Florida. That was an absolute disaster. And my hope for you and your fans is that you can turn it around. But I'm not feeling good about it.
In case you were wondering if it was the worst case scenario, yes, it was.
Yeah,
that's the worst case scenario.
Yes.
The good news is there's nowhere to go it up. Good luck.